Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're going to be testing both Richard Ryder Nova and Sam Alexander Nova. From now on, just to make it easier for me, I'm going to call Big Nova and Little Nova, because I just cannot keep saying Richard Ryder and Sam Alexander. I'm just going to mess it up. I'm going to make mistakes. So anyways, for Big Nova, I feel a little bit bad about my initial reaction and my initial testing of him in PvP because he was only level 60. A lot of you guys mentioned that he's actually very good for PvE. It is surprising to me that a character that has penetration and iframe ignore would possibly be better for PvE than PvP, but we'll see. I'll definitely test him in PvE today. He's still level 60 because I haven't unlocked his potential, but I did give him a crit damage 140 proc obelisk. Oh, and ignore dodge. So he actually becomes very good against Corvus because he has his 30% dodge, I believe, 30%, 25% ignore dodge stacked on top of that. So he's actually rocking 50% ignore dodge base with this build here, and as you can see, he's got a 180 crit damage, and then he does bump his crit rate up with Supernova Crash. That's great. On the other hand, I got Lil Nova to level 70, so I am going to be taking him into PvP. I've been practicing with him, and although I don't think that he is meta again the way that he was in 2017 when he was released, I still think you can make him work. Now, why you would want to make Nova work? I mean, if you love Nova, you want to make him work, but what I'm trying to say is, like, you're going to have to put more effort into the character, and you're not going to win as consistently as if you just run tier 3 Jean Grey or tier 3 Thanos or, you know, Silver Surfer tier 3 when he gets his uniform and stuff. I also want to caution you guys ahead of time against investing too heavily into these two characters here, and investing too heavily into universals in general for the next couple of weeks, especially for PvP, because Silver Surfer tier 3 is coming, and we know that he's coming thanks to the data mine. The data mine lets us know that basically, maybe, okay, I'm just speculating, but maybe what Netmarble wanted was they wanted us to invest heavily into these characters for PvP and reap the success, and then a couple of weeks later, they were going to introduce another counter, because, let me tell you guys, he's got iframe ignore. He's also got counter. So he not only interrupts your iframe ignore skill that both Novas have, but then he does insane damage to you on top of healing, on top of the guard hit, on top of paralysis, removes active buffs, on top of revive. Seriously, Silver Surfer is like both Novas put together and then on steroids with the Captain America super soldier serum injected into them. So yeah, if you don't have a ton of resources, if you're not a whale or if you're not a veteran with tons of stockpiled resources, I would say, you know, you can test these characters out for sure. If you love these characters, still invest in them, absolutely. But if you're just sort of on the fence, maybe just wait a little bit longer and then see how insane the impact is from Silver Surfer, you know, flying his bodyboard directly into the sun, or directly into us. Impact. I was like trying to make a meteor reference there. So anyways, yeah, Silver Surfer's coming. So I would say, you know, don't expect too many good things. Don't expect too much from the Novas once Silver Surfer arrives. There's a possibility that one of them could counter him. The problem with Lil Nova countering Silver Surfer is that his Rocket Blast is not an iframe. So Nova gets punished heavily by anyone who has Reflect, because this damage just gets bounced back at him and he gets obliterated. So Destroyer is actually a really good counter to Baby Nova, to Lil Nova, Silver Surfer, Phyla Vel, other characters as well, Scarlet Witch. So it may be possible that only Richard Ryder will be able to counter Silver Surfer. But again, we'll have to see. My bet, my money is on Silver Surfer just completely decimating and dunking everyone. But that's just what I think. And again, it's not necessarily that Netmarble was planning to do that, but it is a bit, you know, it's a little bit interesting that they release or upgrade existing universal types, and then they're about to tier 3 another universal type. If we didn't know about tier 3 Silver Surfer, we would invest heavily into one or both of these Novas, and then a lot of players would get blindsided by Silver Surfer in a couple of weeks. Now, last thing here before we get into the testing for the Novas, I just want to tell you guys, I tweeted it out as soon as I realized it, but they have nerfed, they have shadow nerf. I don't know if you call it a shadow nerf, but they nerfed. They did update it. They did nerf the rewards in Dark Dimension. So the rewards being the gold. Now, some people, troglodytes, are going to immediately jump to the conclusion that this is my fault because I made a video about it showing you guys that you could get more gold from it, and so I brought it to Netmarble's attention. Of course. And then those same troglodytes, if I was not to make a video and not tell you guys, then when they found out, they would blame me for not telling you guys. So it's pretty much a lose-lose when you face troglodytes like that. but I just wanted to let you guys know because I did give tips on, you know, farming these missions when you have boost points and possibly buying a gold booster. I apologize. I had no idea they were going to change it, right? Nerf it. Obviously, don't spend your boost points here anymore because 5,000 gold is paltry. It's really low. Yeah, just ignore those missions if you don't need the Clea bios. I mean, get the Satana bios, sure, for a future uniform or something like that. But don't go to those missions anymore for gold. It's unfortunate that they had to nerf those missions. Netmarble's gonna netmarble. What are you gonna do, right? They can't fix bugs in the game, but when we're getting something, they can fix it in a second, right? They're on those bug fixes. But remember, guys, they can only rework one character per year, right? It is what it is. Okay, so first we're going to test out Lil Nova in PvP. So if you guys want to see Big Nova, just fast forward the video a little bit. Now for Little Nova, the practice that I've been doing is with a CTP of Authority. He has enough damage, but he really is like a paper. He's a paper cannon. He's not even a glass cannon. He's a paper cannon. His defense is super low. His HP is super low, and he really only has 2 iframes. He has an iframe on 1 and an iframe on 4. Now that's good. Like the iframes on 1 and 4, I believe, are both instant iframes, and he also has invincibility for 5 seconds on Nova Force. But seriously, he gets obliterated in the blink of an eye. So using Colossus, I think, with Nova, with Baby Nova, with Lil Nova, just doesn't work because, you know, he takes 200,000 damage, and then you reduce it by 50%. He takes 100,000 damage. He still dies in one shot. Literally, I've been one-shotted from full health, meaning that my CTP of Authority does not even activate because he has, you know, 100,000 HP, and I take 101,000 damage in a single attack from someone like Jean Grey. So I would recommend using Mystique or Taskmaster with the uniform. Some people were asking me why I use Taskmaster on the World Boss presets. Guys, Taskmaster's uniform gives you the same passive buff to all allies as Mystique does. It's the 40-40 increased damage to superheroes and supervillains. So this is going to allow, this setup here is going to allow Nova more time to basically, or not more time, but more damage basically to output. So we're going to fight against the top timeline teams here. I'm not going to cherry pick anyone in particular. We're just going to jump in and do a few matches, and I'll show you what I've seen. Now, there's a particular skill rotation you want to use for Nova. You can see he has barely over 100,000 HP. There's a particular skill rotation. You want to open up with the 4, and then you want to go right into the... Okay, so that didn't work. So yeah, this is sort of what you deal with Nova. When he can get someone, when he can catch someone off guard, he one-shots. Like, not one-shots, but he'll kill them. But if he can't catch them off guard for whatever reason, then he just dies. So you sort of have to accept what you're getting. He's not nearly as tanky as a tier 3 character because he obviously doesn't have the same stat buffs as a tier 3 character does. And then he doesn't have the, you know, he doesn't have on top of that any of the other survivability. So it's tough to make it work. That team wasn't even that good, and he got obliterated. It's tough to make it work, but you can make it work. Let's try the next team. I'm not gonna keep trying the same team, but I want you guys to see that it can work. It can work, but it's tough. It's definitely tough. He's not the easiest character to play. Let's try to open with the 2 instead, and then into the 5, and then back into the 2. And then back into the 2. There we go. So you can see it can work. It can definitely work. I thought that the 4... Okay. We need to use the 4 here. Okay, we died. Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. Using the 4 as an iframe to then catch your opponent off guard is possible. I have soloed teams with Nova, with Baby Nova, but it's definitely tougher sometimes than others. But basically, you want to use 2 as much as possible because of the guard break on 2, and because of the... Oh, we're starting with Colossus. These teams are weird, man. Okay, this is a better team. You want to start with the 2, or you want to do the 2 as much as possible because of the guard breaking that it does, the locking, and of course because of the damage. You also don't want to be too close to the enemy. It sounds weird, but the orb that he creates on his so we're gonna use the 4 here. So you want that orb to... Okay, we're gonna use 4 here to... Yeah, he gets iframe interrupted as well. I'm not really sure why, but there's like a small gap on his 4th skill. You can see it kind of works, right? But his HP is just so low I mean, maybe a regen would work, but his, like I said, his HP is so low that the regen's not going to add much, right? He has a base, he's got like 30,000 HP, so adding 30% to that is not adding much. You're bumping him up to 40,000, barely. But he can get kills. I just don't see him being used because the players that have him, let's try Thanos. The players that have Nova built up, that didn't, you know, recently build him up with tier 2 tickets and stuff, they have better characters by now, right? Nova's been 100% eclipsed. So you can see there that works. You can see it does, it can work for sure. But it's like it's tough. Okay, and then this is even tougher. This is even tougher. Yeah. Yeah. You're not supposed to do the 2 against Silver Surfer because you kill yourself to reflect. You're supposed to do the 4, but the 4 doesn't do that much damage. So killing Silver Surfer, let me find a Silver Surfer team first, and I'll show you what to do against Silver Surfer. If you try to kill Silver Surfer first, it just takes a long time because you can only really do the 4th skill. And if you use the 4th skill when he hasn't used the 3rd skill, then you get completely dunked. So yeah, he just takes too much damage from reflect during the 2nd skill. So you basically have to bait this skill out and then use the 4th skill. But as you can see, right? And then you have to just, and this is the only way to kill Silver Surfer. If you have a regen, I guess you can make it work a little bit better. But this is it, right? That was one time. Look how much damage I took. See what I'm saying? And then if he's got an invincibility obelisk, it's gonna be even harder. It's gonna be even more of a pain in the butt. See, he activated his invincibility obelisk. Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive that he can do that. Yeah. I think I canceled the 2 too fast. It's really impressive that he can just wake up and kill Jean Grey by locking her in that 2nd skill, but I find it very inconsistent. And it's like it's kill or be killed. It's like you're immediately gonna lock them, or they're gonna slip out and one-shot you. You don't get a second chance with Baby Nova. So I'm not the biggest fan of characters like that for PvP. I like tanky characters. I like characters that give you a second chance, especially if they have revive. So that's why I've always liked characters like Dr. Doom. That's why I love Silver Surfer and stuff like that. Or just tanky characters in general, Apocalypse, Colossus, Thanos, things like that. So yeah, Nova, I don't know, maybe if you gave him 75% dodge, if you could build up his dodge, but he doesn't have a uniform, so it's really hard to get any of those extra stats. I don't think CTP of Authority is very good on him, but I honestly don't know what to give him because he doesn't really need the damage, so to speak. Like, I don't think Agreed would work, but I don't know if a regen would work either. Maybe a regen would work, maybe, but he honestly needs, like, he needs something even tankier than a regen because he just takes too much damage. Now we're going to try, against stage 60, we're going to try Richard Ryder here, and we're going to see how he does. Now, he does have, what is it, 50 or 60%? He has 50%, I believe. No, 60% all defense down. That's really nice. So I believe that goes up to minus 84%. 60 times 1.4. Yeah, he goes up to minus 84%. And the nice thing is, even if you're not using a leadership, like even if you're not using a damage leadership, if you use White Fox, not only for White Fox does he get that leadership bonus, but then he also gives the increased damage. And then he had... okay, never mind. He doesn't have... No. For some reason, I thought he had an energy passive. But I'm thinking of Falavel. So the team that you want to set him up for is this team, essentially. But you want to sub Mystique out for him. And the reason why, like I said, is... he's not Blast. Is because he has the leadership tag. So he will benefit from the 55 or 60% increased damage against supervillains that she gives to all allies with leadership, like her passive. And then she's also going to give him, because he has a leadership tag, she's going to give him 10% all attack, and then she's going to bump up his all defense down to minus 84%. And then she's also going to, oh, that's decreased the debuff, never mind. And then Wiccan is there to give us an extra 20% ignore dodge, so we're going to be at 70% ignore dodge. So we only need 2 strikers to hit 100%. So now we can bring in someone to do mind control, and we can bring in some extra strikers as well to, you know, help us out here. Now we don't have, we can do this and this. Nope, we can only do 1. And then we want to bring in Rachel for the mind control. Here we go. So let's test this out. A lot of people have said that he's very good for PvE. So maybe PvE is the way to go. I mean, minus 60% is very, very good. I'm not sure if he does the 5th skill as a striker, but it's a very powerful skill to have on his... So let's see here. Nice. Wow. Okay, yeah. I can see why that would be good. Yeah. You got to wait a little bit on 5. Ooh, 5 got canceled. Okay, so 5 got canceled because he was too far away, I guess. There's a bit of a there can be a bit of a targeting issue. But he pops the immunity right away. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. That's real nice. Okay. And he's fast. He's got self-healing. Yeah, maybe he is better suited for PvE than PvP, despite having that iframe ignore. Maybe. Because that 5th skill... Yeah. That damage is huge. Now, if you don't have White Fox, you're not going to see as much of a damage increase from him because the White Fox buff is substantial. You can use... it's also nice that his 3rd skill moves him away, right? So you move out of harm's way. His... But see, the iframes do interrupt his 5th skill. So there I just got kind of unlucky with bad timing. But he does his 4th skill with the co-op. See the damage here. He also heals, right? Whoa, nice. Now, yeah, if you don't have White Fox, you're not going to see as much productivity from him. But you will still get very good results with Dr. Voodoo. If you don't have either Dr. Voodoo or White Fox, then you can just run him normally. 60% all defense down is still good. You can ask, what's her name? You can ask Negasonic. It's not bad at all. But, of course, we know, for World Boss, the more all defense down, the better. So, yeah, he can definitely clear this. We're only a minute and a half in. There is some annoying cancellations on the 5th skill. I think some people will be a bit annoyed with that at times. He's not necessarily the smoothest clear ever. But yeah, so if he can do this to Corvus as a universal type, right? He's got a damage reduction. So imagine if he was a speed type, because he's getting a 50% damage reduction. So if there was no 50% damage reduction, he could do this way faster. Right? Yeah, look at that damage. Almost a bar of damage just on his 4th skill burst. Yeah, wow. So this is very impressive. I don't know if he's going to be a powerhouse for PvP, but this is very impressive. Let's try against a stage 55 Cull. No. We want to try the same team up here. We don't have White Fox anywhere. Okay. So we're going to go White Fox. And then we're going to go... We don't have to use Wiccan anymore. So let's bring along Coulson for the guaranteed crit. And then we're just going to bring in 3 strikers for a bit of damage. A little bit more damage. But he's already got a lot, right? So he's got his own 40% increased damage to villains. And then he's got White Fox's 55. So 95 plus another 36. So he's got over 130% increased damage to villains. And now he's going to drop 84%. I think against Cull Obsidian, he will be very good. Because Cull Obsidian doesn't have any iframes. Like, he pretty much never interrupts you. So your 5th skill, remember how my 5th skill got interrupted by Corvus like 3 times? His won't get interrupted by Cull. So that's actually really good. Now, you are going to lose some damage because he will start doing that that shoulder slap. That one right there. The shield slam. And that will, you know, purify him and remove the all defense down. But then you just reapply it. Reapply it and do gnarly damage. Man, I like some of the sound effects on his 2nd skill. I don't know, it just sounds satisfying. Did we miss our proc? I have a feeling we did. There it is. So not quite a bar's worth of damage. But yeah, solid. And he feels tanky. He definitely feels tanky. With the iframe, with the immunity. Or he doesn't have, he has invincibility, not immunity. But yeah, the iframe, the invincibility, the iframe ignore on 3, but 2 long iframes on 5 and 3. And the movement is so nice, right? Because you see, you basically eject from the second skill, or from the third skill. And if you don't go into the second skill, look at this. Boom, I'm gone. And he also moves from side to side, as you notice with the second and third skill. So what I can do is I'm here and I'm here now. And now you target me over here and now I'm over here. So he moves around you. He moves from side to side. So he's got quite a bit of lateral movement that you can use to your advantage, right? Oh, there we go. And you can reposition a lot. I like that. I like that. You can sort of dodge the tornadoes and stuff. It's too hectic and it's too fast paced in PvP to really take advantage of that kind of stuff. Because PvP, you know, like you get one-shotted, right? But in PvE, you really do have an opportunity to do this kind of stuff. Ooh, peekaboo. Oh, you're gonna hit me? No. All right, I'm impressed. I like this a lot, actually. I'm actually much more impressed with him here. Now, to be fair, I'll have to take him to level 70 in order to get a proper evaluation of his PvP value. But I have still heard mixed results. Some people really like him for PvP, some people don't. But everyone is singing his praises for PvE. So I wanted to give you guys that tip. And that was just a regular obelisk. That was a 140 proc. You can definitely roll something as good, if not better than this. Obviously, you can roll something with crit damage and just a proc and no ignore dodge. That'll make him worse against Corvus, or it'll make you have to use more ignore dodge strikers. But just keep in mind, he doesn't need more than 45% crit rate because of that. Oops, because of the 30% that he gets on Supernova Crash. So yeah, I'm at 34. Over 45, including your obelisk and ISO 8 stats, and you're just wasting those extra percentage points because it's active for 6 seconds and you're triggering it every like 8 seconds, 8.5 seconds. So pretty much you have the extra 30% crit rate. If you had a CTP of Rage, no, you would probably need to build up the crit rate all the way, but in this case I don't, so I don't have to. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of Big Nova and Lil Nova. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.